Okay, we've covered the basics of what an AWTS system consists of, components it comes with, and what additional resources you can refer to for more information. Now we're going to set up an AWTS system. Let's start with the setup of the 500 volt AWTS. First, select a location and an AC power source. Arrange the equipment where the testing is to be performed. Equipment may be stacked for use in areas with limited space, or it can be spread out for testing larger units under test. Remove covers from all units by loosening the top and bottom fasteners of each cover and set them aside. If present, remove any cable assemblies that may be stored inside the covers. Unfasten the input dust cap on the rear of the test control unit and attach the end of the data power input cable marked TCU input to the input connector on the test control unit. Note that this connector is keyed and must be lined up correctly to connect. Connect the cable end marked CPU serial port to the serial port on the rear of the CPU. Connect the CPU AC power adapter. Then connect both the AC line end of the data power input cable and the AC plug end of the CPU power cord to 110 AC 60 Hz shot power. To connect a switch module, locate the umbilical cable and unfasten the output dust cap on the rear of the test control unit. Connect the output end of the umbilical cable to the output connector located on the rear of the test control unit. Unfasten the input dust cap on the rear panel of the switch module and attach the umbilical cable end marked input to the switch module input connector. If additional switch modules are needed, connect output to input to form a daisy chain between each switch module. To ensure proper configuration, please refer to the Joint Services Technical Manual for proper addition of switch modules. The high voltage AC-DC system setup requires connecting the CPU to the test control unit only, since a standalone switch module is not part of the basic system. During routine system operation and maintenance, the use of system support accessories will become necessary. The equipment and procedures for use are the same for either the 500 volt or high voltage AC-DC systems. When instructed to connect the electrical probe tool, locate the probe connector on the rear of the test control unit and unfasten its dust cap. Then connect the electrical probe. When instructed by a maintenance procedure to connect the alignment tool, locate the J1 connector on the front of the test control unit and unfasten the dust cap. Then connect the alignment tool. When instructed by a maintenance procedure, unfasten the dust caps on any front panel connector and connect the Verify 2 tool to the connector on the test control unit and/or switch module. When using a test program created by the wire test set converter, you may need to use AWTS to WTS adapters in order to use legacy WTS test cables. Connect the end labeled P1 mates with TCU SM front panel connector to the test control unit or switch module connector. Then mate the connector labeled J1 mates with WTS test adapter to the WTS test adapter cable. The external load module unit is an ancillary piece of test equipment designed to attach to either AWTS configuration. It provides 96 high current stimulus channels. To attach an external load module to an AWTS system, first complete the basic AWTS system setup procedures. Then remove covers from the external load module unit by loosening the top and bottom fasteners of each cover. If cable assemblies are inside the covers for storage, remove them and set the system covers aside. Next, locate the measure and control connectors on the rear panel of the external load module and unfasten their dust caps. Connect the P1 measure and P2 control ends of the external load module interface cable to the respective measurement and control connectors on the rear panel of the external load module, being sure to key the cable connectors properly. Next, locate the AC power connector on the rear of the external load module and unfasten the dust cap. Connect the external load module AC power end of the AC input cable to the AC power connector. Connect the AC line connector of the cable to a standard wall outlet. On 500-volt systems, locate the J1 connector on the front panel of the switch module unit and the J1 connector on the front panel of the test control unit and unfasten the dust caps. Connect the P3 test control unit J1 and P4 switch module J1 ends of the external load module interface cable to J1 on the test control unit and J1 on the switch module. Let's go over that one more time. On high-voltage AC/DC systems, locate the J1 and J2 connectors on the front panel of the test control unit and unfasten the dust caps. Connect the P3 test control unit J1 and P4 test control unit J2 ends of the external load module interface cable to J1 and J2 on the test control unit. Seem complicated? Look at it again. Okay, here are a few key points we've covered in this section. Setup for 500-volt and high-voltage AC/DC systems are the same. System components can be stacked or spread out, depending on your requirements. Switch module units are connected in a daisy chain by connecting outputs to inputs of consecutive units. Accessories and support items are used when called out by maintenance operations. And finally, the external load module can be connected to either the 500-volt or high-voltage AC/DC system.